Okay.
All right. Restart the timer.
Weird.
Restart the show.
Weird. Okay. All right. So this is the joys of doing this live, ladies and gentlemen, when you've had like 1 hour of sleep. So we're going to start over because we were muted. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
No problem.
How can you recreate the comedy? I don't know. Hello, all. Welcome to the Movie Bears podcast.
Hello again.
We're recording this intro for the second time because apparently we were muted when we did our whole live setup thing. Whatever, something went wrong. But I am Brad Harris, and each week I'm joined by hunky, hairy, huggable homos who love film, like these guys, to review films, dish a bit of movie news, and on super cool weeks like this one, get together live in Will's kitchen. Hello, Will.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Check it out, and you know, kind of enjoy some of the awesomeness of South by Southwest Film, which we have been at for the last, I don't even know how many days at this point. 2, 3,
3 days.
Day
12.
4. Well, today's day 4.
Right.
Day 4.
We're
Day 4.
Ready to go for day 4.
Day 4. So we thought about doing this live, like from the convention center, but it's so noisy and there's so many people, like it would have been really sucky.
Yeah.
So we're recording live from Will's kitchen, not Hell's kitchen. No Jessica Jones or Luke Cage or Daredevil or Elektra or Punisher.
Not that I know. I mean, she's probably on my wall somewhere, as much Marvel shit as I have up. But no. She's not here in the flesh.
And you do have a lot because we're staying in the green room with all of your super cool toys. I feel like we're in a museum to nerddom. I love it. It's awesome. But we have a lot to talk about this week. We are going to give you some highlights from South by so far. Next week, of course, will be our bigger South by show. But we'll dish a little bit about some of the films we've been seeing, what we've been enjoying. And, of course, we'll also be reviewing 10 Cloverfield Lane. So lots of good stuff to talk about. We are going to dive right in. South by, guys. So initial impressions. How are things going this year? What do you think?
It's going great. I mean, just like it always does. We, Will's nice enough to put us up in his house, so that makes it easy. We're about, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes from downtown. Well, probably not even 15 minutes from downtown where everything's happening. We've managed to get in a full dozen feature films in basically 2.5 days worth of movie time, and we've got a lot more days left to do. We've seen some awesome films that we can't wait to tell you all about. And we'll be doing that both on this podcast and, as well as on our website and our more in-depth reviews. Will, what do you think?
I absolutely agree. Like, South by is one of the 2 times a year that I look forward to the most. This and Fantastic Fest. Hey, film festivals. That's what I love doing. One of the things that's so much fun about this festival is coming into it and not really having a plan for, like, I need to see every single one of these films. There are a few that are probably on our list. We're like, oh, we want to see this one. I'd like to see this one, whatever. But I think part of the joy for me is the discovery of films that I would have never heard of otherwise. And already 12 films in, we're only a little way into the fest, if you guys can believe it. We're not even at the halfway mark
yet.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
But even already, I think we found some gems. I think we've had a fun time, exploring Austin. I mean, I'm from here, but I've had a fun time in exploring Austin with you guys and just doing the whole festival thing.
Right.
It's been a blast.
I don't know that I would say, excuse me, frog in my throat, that we've been exploring Austin so much, though. I mean, we've been seeing the inside of movie theater screens, but
that's what there is. That's my Austin.
Oh, okay.
That's what you, that's my Austin.
That is your Austin. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely welcome, echo that. You know what it is? I had like 5 hours of sleep, like over the last 4 days, so my brain is not fully working yet. But we've definitely had a chance to catch up on a lot of movies so far, which has been great. It's one of those things where when you come to a film festival, you get like this booklet with all the different movies and their descriptions, but descriptions are never totally like an accurate representation of what you're going to get in the film, right? So kind of our process is we look through the book, we see what sounds good, and then the next stage is we look at the schedule and see what's doable, and then we kind of pick it from there. And Will's a big fan of saying, we'll pick our path. It's like a choose your own adventure as you move through the schedule, right? And I got to say, I mean, out of the 12 movies that we've seen so far, there's really only been like 1 or 2 that have been kind of like, not so great. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to see these movies that, you know, it's not like we've seen commercials for them on TV or lots of trailers or anything like that. It's just like, huh, that sounds interesting. Let's go check it out. And so we've found some really, really cool ones so far. One of the ones for me that I've really enjoyed is a little movie called Suntan, which is a Greek-made film all about a doctor on an island in Greece who, you know, he's a middle-aged guy and he kind of falls in with a younger crowd there, starts going clubbing with them and partying. And, you know, on the surface, that sounds kind of
alluring,
you know, kind of maybe awesome, right? Especially if you've, you know, you're trying to regain your lost youth as a middle-aged doctor who's, you know, living this pent-up life. But it's kind of interesting when it takes like a super weird, creepy turn. So I really, really enjoyed that film. We'll be talking about a lot more of them. But guys, what are some films for you that have stuck with you so far?
Man, I mean, there's a couple that have stuck with me. One is an Australian film. I think it's Australian, right? Not New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
It's a New Zealand film. Sorry. Called Hunt for the Wilder People.
Yes.
This is one definitely to look for. I think you'll see it becoming around either in, you know, it might be an art house. It might get a wide release. We don't know yet, but it's about this this foster kid who is bounced from house to house, and he ends up with this family out in the bush. And the foster dad is Sam Neill, and they end up kind of on a walkabout, kind of an adventure together, and form a bond and a friendship. And it's so funny, very heartfelt. Some great acting by the kid and by Sam Neill. And the supporting cast are great as well. But yeah, we'll look for it. It's kind of a weird title, but Hunt for the Wilder People is the name of it.
And Jim, that one's the director on that, Taika Waititi. I know some of the fans of our show were big fans of What We Do in the Shadows, a film that came out last year. Same director. So if you kind of like that guy's warped sense of humor, but want to apply it to like a kind of a relationship dramedy, this one was quite good.
Something much more, you know, down to earth, and then, you know, this movie doesn't really go full out, you know, comedy like What We Do in the Shadows, but it's a well-rounded movie. I think a lot of people are going to love it. What stood out for you? I mean, there's so many. I mean,
oh my gosh, it's hard to pick. Right?
Yeah,
it is very difficult because we're at like Brad mentioned, we are 12 films in. I think 9 or 10 of them have been ones that I've really enjoyed. So it's like, what we'll talk about now. One that I think all three of us enjoyed quite a bit was Demolition.
No, hated it.
Hated it.
Hated it.
Yeah, this is the newest film by Jean-Marc Vallée. He's the guy that directed Dallas Buyers Club. He did Wild, films that we enjoyed, and we enjoyed Demolition as well. It's a vehicle for Jake Gyllenhaal, who is a dude who has recently lost his wife. And in coping with it, as opposed to like lashing out or breaking down, he just goes numb. And this film follows this dude as he deals with his emotional detachment from everything and the way it affects the people around him. It is an extremely heartfelt movie. One of the things that I enjoyed so much about it from an extremely technical perspective, Jean-Marc Vallée did his own editing on this. And I think this is a film where I think the editing was something that you can highlight. You can't usually say that about film. Usually
no, you don't talk about
the action, the actors, the direction, the script. But the editing was just as much a part of this film's success as anything else. So really solid film. It is super early in the year, but I love this one so much. It's like already like in my end of year discussions. And if it isn't, then hell, it's going to be a great year. Yeah.
I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal's performance is amazing. And the script is from a script by this guy named Brian Sipe, I think is his name. Yeah. Just an amazing script. And the movie is, I mean, it sounds really heavy drama, you know, this guy dealing with the death of his spouse. And that's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer, but it's the comedic beats in here are so well used. Yeah. It's a really balanced film, and just some really funny stuff and some really you know, emotional stuff as well. So that's one you'll definitely want to look for. I'm pretty sure that's going to get a wide release pretty soon.
Well, it's interesting because like as we're seeing these movies, they also give us these ballot cards that we have to mark like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like there's an audience vote for like the best film at the festival. And you know, up until we had seen that film, I was going like 3, 4, you know, 2, but I hadn't really had a 5 yet. You know, I've talked about it before, like movies that are really like super resonant with me, that are like super awesome, are the ones that can like punch me in the emotional gut and like make me cry. And like that movie, oh my God, it got me. It totally got me. Like at the end, I don't want to spoil you. There's stuff that happened.
No.
But it did get to a point where, you know, I kind of like with Wild, I felt, you know, very resonant with the character for a few different reasons. And when certain things happened, that punch just hit me. And I was like, oh, ding, there it is. My first 5, ladies and gentlemen. It was like forming a new core memory from Inside Out. It was like,
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Demolition is a phenomenal film. I know it's coming out in wide release at some point.
Sometime in April, like
sometime in April, I think.
Something.
Yeah, definitely. So I know it can be a little frustrating sometimes to hear about these movies that aren't out yet, that you can't see yet, but this is definitely one that's coming down the pipeline. One other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, it's been really cool, you know, being at this festival, being able to sort of have access to these Q&As, right, with the directors and cast members. If you've been following our adventures on the Movie Race Podcast Facebook page or our Twitter account, that's at MB Podcast, we've been posting some really awesome pictures that we've been getting from the festival. We decided to get a nice high-quality camera this year, so we could see, like...
No more iPhone from the 12th row.
Right, exactly. Right. And it's funny because like now that we're like officially sanctioned press, we have like a camera tag. And so Jim has been going down and like getting in their faces, like at the front of the theater. I'm like, where's Jim? It's like, where's Jim? Oh, he's laying on the floor in front of the Q&A, like snapping pictures. So good job. I love it. It's great.
Guerrilla photography.
Right?
Hey, Brad, are there any other films that have kind of jumped out to you? Things that I know that was your first 5, but are there any kind of high 4s that tripped your trigger?
You know, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it because it's going to be our main review next week. We had a chance to see Midnight Special, the new movie coming out starring Michael Shannon, Joel Edgerton, Reese Witherspoon. Please, Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst.
Mary Jane Watson.
She was in the last. She was in the last Jeff Nichols movie, right?
Right. Yeah. No. But she's in Mud.
She was in Mud.
Yeah, she was in Mud. But that's a really cool film. Kind of the premise. If you haven't seen the trailers yet, it seems like there's this like, you know, midnight flight. People in a car. This kid has like light coming out of his eyes. We don't know what's going on, but they're on the run. He has some kind of powers or something, and they're having to hide him and get him away from something we don't know.
Right.
Well, we know.
We
saw the movie,
but you guys don't know.
But great movie. Definitely a lot of I think fun is the wrong word. A lot of interesting things going on there. This is definitely one that should be on your radar. It's wide release this weekend.
Yeah, the 18th, March 18th. Yeah. So you guys can. It's possible you've downloaded this episode, you're driving to the theater right now to see this movie and listening to us say non-spoilery high praise about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Get out and see this one and join the conversation next week when we do our review. It's really special. I mean, Jeff Nichols is a director that I've had my eye on, ever since a movie called Take Shelter that he put out. I didn't see his Shotgun Stories, but Take Shelter, and we loved Mud, which was a film that I think we saw at South by. Did we see it at South by a few years ago?
We didn't see it at South by. We talked about it afterwards.
Right.
So
and now this film, is in a way, it's kind of more of a mainstream adventure movie for him. But then again, he hasn't lost that kind of Jeff Nichols sensibility, which is really kind of a slow build to kind of what we'll just say a powerful payoff. I guess
we can't say a lot about this one right now. And plus, we don't need to because you guys are going to tune in next week and listen to our main review.
I will say, though, we do like powerful payoffs.
We like powerful climaxes.
Jesus, guys.
One thing I want to say, I love this week so much because we get to be here podcasting in person. I feel like Charlie's Angels right now, we're all together. Anyway, but it's just awesome to be able to do that. I mean, typically
You need to screen cap that. Do it to it. Yeah.
We'll play
that
it.
Needs to be there.
We'll play it back.
Paul's on that.
Yeah, Paul, if you're watching. But yeah, it's just awesome being able to do this in person as opposed to everyone in a different room.
Yeah.
But it's also just been great kind of hanging out in between movies and you know.
The festival atmosphere here is great. I mean, this is such a well-run festival. So many volunteers like work at each venue and the way they handle tickets and you know, admission to the movies is everything's so well done. I mean, you can do and we have done 6 movies in a day before.
Yeah.
Maybe even 7 if you really push it. And so you don't get a lot of sleep, but you'll see a lot of movies. And if that's your thing, like it is for us, you know, this is the way to go. And South by is an amazing festival. And not only do you have the film going on, but you also, I think music starts up today. So it's going to get even crazier, in the Austin area with all these film venues going on and music events, and of course the interactive, which kind of overarches the whole thing. Right. Just a lot of cool people. You can network with other people, you know, other you know, film nerds and film press and podcast folks,
or just like random people from Growler who are like, oh my God, I'm here from New York for South by. Do you want to hang out?
Right.
You know,
one of the best things here is that you've got so many people that are film fans. Like the people that you meet in line or sitting next to you in the theater are people that are either writing about film, or they said, you know what, I want to spend several $100 just for my own sake to go see a bunch of movies. So everyone here is passionate about seeing movies. So one of my absolute favorite games is the line game. Like, you'll just be standing in line next to someone and say, what have you seen so far that's been great? And you immediately have this bond. I've had a couple of times where I'll end up with like a 20-minute conversation with a complete random stranger as we're talking about some obscure movie. This weird thing that, like, this bond that I only have with this human being and maybe a few other 100 human beings in the entire world, because we're in a festival environment. People haven't seen these things. So it's so much fun. And this is a great place. If you are a film fan, you should definitely consider checking it out some year. South by is a lot of fun. And if it's, you know, the travel isn't kind of your thing, the price point isn't your thing either, there are local film festivals all over the country.
Oh, yeah.
So if you haven't done a film festival in general before, you really should. It's a completely different experience.
Yeah, totally is.
And you could end up sitting next to Christopher Lloyd, you know, for a screening of his movie.
That's true.
He was right behind us today.
I know.
Or yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Yep. It's funny too, because it's like you randomly run into these people, right? Like, so we're sitting in the theater yesterday, and the movie Christopher Lloyd was there for was I'm Not a Serial Killer. Great film, by the way. Hope you get to see it soon. But like, I'm sipping on my dry cider ale in the Alamo Draft House. We're talking. All of a sudden, I just see Christopher Lloyd standing next to me, coming up the stairs, and he's like, as he walks by, and I'm like, oh my God, Christopher Lloyd just at me. I'm like, what? You know.
And you kind of you don't want to be the guy that's just like,
right.
Oh God, that's him. That's him. But there was one, like, I think Johnny Galecki was like arm to arm with Brad, but he was looking over at Jim. So I'm trying to very sneakily go like,
Brad, let's get an Aussie real quick.
Because I know Brad's like a Big Bang Theory fan, so it's like, you know, literally Sheldon's right there.
Well, or not Sheldon,
whichever one.
But
the moppy haired guy,
Leonard. But Leonard. So Will does that, and I'm like, what the fuck do you want right now? Like, I'm tweeting, and then I look over and I'm like, oh. I'm like, be cool. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. I'm just like, what's up? Back to my tweet.
Don't fanboy out. Fangirl out.
He looks down. It's like, are you on Growler?
He's like, did someone unlock their private media for you?
And you're like, oh, he's the faceless. He's the headless torso. Headless torso guy.
I recognize that. Sound like hair pen. Anyway, so yeah, South by. Awesome time. Just want to give a big shout out to Janet, who's put this whole thing together, and all the volunteers who are doing an amazing freaking job keeping this thing running like the well-oiled machine that it is. You know, we really appreciate being invited as press for the event, and you know, we definitely are just glad to be here, having a great time. And, we're only a few days in. I mean, we're still here for another 5-6 days.
Yeah, it's
something
Monday.
like
you guys fly on.
Yeah, so we've got
almost a full week.
We've got a while
I
still.
can't believe we've got that much left. We've seen so much good stuff. And
right.
So many more to go that we're looking forward to. Yeah.
Definitely. So a lot more fun to come. Definitely. So I just got a notification on Facebook that Paul has a new photo for us.
Oh,
not a nude photo. Oh, that was our timer.
Sorry, Paul.
Over.
We have finished our South by Southwest segment, and this is how you know. You heard the clap.
Congratulations. Oh my gosh, he totally got us with the picture. Check it out.
There we go. That's
nice.
That's
nice.
Magic right
let
there.
Me let me do this. Well, actually, you saw it on camera anyway. Paul, thank you so much for that screenshot. Paul. Nice. We're totally posting that. So good stuff. So so South by awesomeness. I hope you guys get the chance to check out this festival at some point, if not this year. Definitely make it a
bring you
priority.
more on the next show.
You can get here.
Yeah.
But we'll have a lot more discussion on our next show. But guys, we have a movie to discuss.
A real movie?
A
How are we feeling
on this show?
I know. Oh my gosh. All right. So we are going to go ahead then and begin our discussion of 10 Cloverfield Lane. All right. So, as usual, we are going to talk about this film spoiler-free for probably 10 minutes or so. We'll give you a fair warning before we dive into spoilers. Typically, we just have somebody introduce this movie. But I don't know that we...
we can still introduce it, but we're gonna have to be very cautious on this one.
It's hard to talk about because I mean you have the basic premise in the trailer, right? Seems like there's some kind of apocalyptic travesty in the world above, and people are in this bunker underground, and what's going on? Why is John Goodman feeding somebody soup, and why is he yelling at people? And we don't really know what's going on, but why don't we just give some initial impressions here? First thing I want to talk about is because it's all about me is this is a successor to Cloverfield. How do we talk about that without
we'll have to be careful about this one.
This is one I'm going to say this up front because we're obviously going to talk about it for about 15 or 20 minutes, but this is a movie where I suggest that if you like your movie experiences to be unsullied, you want to go into this movie knowing as little about it as possible. And I kind of did. Now, I did see the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, kudos to you guys for not watching it. But this is a movie that will pay off more the less you know about the movie going in, I believe.
And the good news is that's kind of easy with this one. J.J. Abrams is the producer on this film. He was the filmmaker behind the first Cloverfield movie. And one of his big things, we've heard it several times before, is the mystery box.
Right.
He likes films that have this mystery for the audience and as part of the marketing as well. And so they really mystery boxed the hell out of this one. We ended up with a trailer that dropped only a month and change before the movie actually came out. And the trailer itself, like Brad mentioned, really just shows 3 people in a bunker and maybe there's something else going on. We can tell that it's going to be a tense movie from the trailer, but past that, you don't know what the source of the tension really is. Right. And knowing what the actual original Cloverfield movie is, but also knowing that the filmmakers have come out and said, well, it's not really a sequel. It's just, it's a blood relative, which is such a great term because we've, as audience members leading up to it, we've interpreted that so many different ways that no one went into this movie having really a firm understanding of what they were going to expect. Mm-hmm. That makes the experience.
No, as a matter of fact, until the trailer dropped, like Will said, like a month and a half ago, the existence of this movie wasn't widely known. And then, boom, the trailer appears in front of one of the Middle East invasion movie there with the bearded dudes.
Zero Dark Bearded or
Zero
whatever.
Dark Bearded guys. What was the name of that? But anyway,
13 hours.
13 hours.
Yeah, that was
Warriors have been
so
got.
it like surprisingly showed up, and people on Twitter freaked out about this trailer. Like, oh my God, is it a sequel to Cloverfield? It's got Cloverfield in the title, obviously, and it's produced by J.J. Abrams. So those are the two obvious connections. And I'm not going to go any further than that and spoil anything. But the speculation about this movie has been rampant, and you're right, Will. Everything was a mystery. You know, what we're seeing in the trailer, which is mostly, as Brad said, stuff that happened in a bunker between the characters. Is that just part of the movie? Is that all of the movie? And it was crazy. So my anticipation for this movie was very high, but my knowledge of it was very low, and I think that's a good way to go.
So quick question, guys, before we go into spoilers then, is this something that people should check out? Is this a movie that you think, you know, they definitely need to go see in theaters, even if they didn't like the original Cloverfield? Spoiler alert, I hated the original Cloverfield. And I'll weigh in after you guys do, but what do you think?
So what's great is we come at this with 3 different experiences. I enjoyed the first Cloverfield. You hated it, and Jim hadn't seen it before.
I had just watched it the night before we went to see 10 Cloverfield Lane for the first time. Of course, I knew of its existence, and I kind of knew the basic premise, but I hadn't actually seen the movie. And so my experience comes from that perspective, and I'll give that. And as far as going into it that way, I don't know. Saying it's a sequel, or I guess Will has already said it's considered a blood relative to 10 Cloverfield Lane. I think we should leave it at that. Until we get into spoilers.
I agree.
Because first of all, yes, I'm going to recommend people go see this movie. I think it's a fantastic movie. It's fun. It's got great performances. It's basically a 3-hander. Basically, you have 3 actors, and John Goodman. It's great to see John Goodman on the screen in a meaty role where he kind of steps into a character that maybe we really haven't seen from John Goodman before. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is great in this, and so is what's the dude's name?
John Gallagher
Jr., which we actually saw in another South by movie last night. But yeah, it's I think it's a great movie. I think a lot of people are going to have fun with this movie. I enjoyed the first Cloverfield movie enough. I think it's a really good. The first Cloverfield movie is a pretty good monster movie. As far as the rest of, kind of like Godzilla was. Like, I love the monster parts of the movie, but like the human character drama part, like I could totally do without. Or it just wasn't. Put it this way: I like to have that in a movie if it's well done, and I don't think it was well done in Cloverfield. But let's just say that this new movie exceeded my high expectations.
And I just want to point out real quick that Jim totally just appreciated John Goodman for his meatiness.
My meatiness?
John Goodman for his meatiness.
Oh, I definitely appreciate John Goodman for his meatiness.
What about you, Will?
Yeah, for me, like I was saying before, I did enjoy the first.
No, John Goodman's meatiness.
Oh,
actually.
Yeah, like I was saying before, I liked the original Cloverfield movie. I thought it was a very solid kind of modern take on the kaiju film. I think that for me, compared to like Godzilla, I liked it better because I liked the human element better.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of the thing that made, because I enjoyed kind of the way the human relationship unfolded in Cloverfield. But we're not talking about that film. We're talking 10 Cloverfield Lane.
We can argue that.
Which is, honestly, if you haven't seen Cloverfield, you can go into this movie without having seen it. Don't feel like you have to go track it down. This is a very tense, taut, underground bunker movie. There's a lot of suspense. There's a lot of what's going on here. There's a lot of just kind of creepy chills. All the types, and they're all done extremely effectively. Some people, I didn't have a problem with the fact that the Cloverfield was done in shaky cam, the handheld. I think it was well done for what it was. But if that was one of your hangups with Cloverfield, this is all shot with Steadicam.
Yeah, you won't have that
So
problem.
that is not something to be worried about. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is fantastic.
Oh my God, yeah.
John Goodman this is possibly my favorite role of his to date, and that's very high praise. He's one of those guys who I'm constantly aware of. Like, that's John Goodman on my screen right now. Not that there's anything bad with that, but I felt multiple times through this movie that I was like, I would kind of get jarred out of that, just like, oh yeah, I forgot that was him. Like, he really, for me, kind of has this like transformative performance. So yeah, I 100% recommend this. I think that this is a fun little mystery. It's a suspenseful movie, strong acting, strong story. And the fact that you don't know what you're going to get going into it, I think is going to make this a lot of fun for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I agree. So I mentioned I was not a big fan of the original Cloverfield movie. And a lot of that was due to many reasons, which we don't have to get into. But going into 10 Cloverfield Lane, I'm kind of like, okay, I guess I'll see this. But I really enjoyed it, actually. Thank God, no more shaky cam crap. Definitely a cool Steadicam. But yeah, I mean, the story, I mean, it's sort of this like, it's like this self-contained. I mean, it's all in this little environment. And I think that's part of what keeps it so sort of tense and terse and just so much like building up. It's kind of crazy. I think, you know, they definitely did a phenomenal job with it. Do we want to talk about spoilers? I mean,
I was just thinking the same thing. Like, I was about to step in, and it's like Brad was getting ready to go like, no, it's time to talk about spoilers. I was about to step in and say, actually, I would be very comfortable with not going into spoiler territory. I think that just like with any movie, we could talk about the plot details.
There's so much to talk
about. The people that
about.
have seen it, and there's a lot of people that have seen it would love to join in on that conversation. But I would, if one person accidentally forgets to hit pause and is ruined on this movie, I would feel terrible about this one compared to just about anything else we've ever reviewed.
So let me just say this. So from my perspective, I definitely feel this is one you should go out and check out. If you can see it while it's in theaters, all the better. It does have some really cool stuff going on that you'll appreciate on the big screen. Definitely, it's a recommend from all of us. So we will forgo spoilers this time around. We don't do that often. But this is one of those movies where it's you know, gosh, it's really hard to talk about in terms of not spoiling the film. So it's kind of like two hands behind our back. Oh, those are penises.
Exactly.
You know, without spoiling the film. And if we do go into spoilers, man, we don't want to rob you of that experience. So we're going to step away, not literally, stay here, guys, from 10. Will, oh my God. I told you to stay here.
Sorry, I don't direction well.
Yeah, believe me, I know. Oh my God. Actually, my ear was a little closer. Can you?
We should never have cameras in front of us again, ever. We are awful.
Oh goodness, I love doing this with you guys. But yeah, so 10 Cloverfield Lane, go see it. It's worth your time. Definitely a lot of fun.
It definitely, boy, this. One thing I would like to say about this, and it doesn't spoil anything. The trailer is not. Boy, I don't know how to say this. This movie is a lot of things rolled into one. I will say, and it surprised me not just once, but many times. And that's, to me, I want to feel something when I go to a movie. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the South by. Sometimes I like that emotional punch in the gut. Sometimes I just love to be like, a movie make me so elated that I just have this big smile on my face through most of the movie. And that was what this movie was for me. Like, it was like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And this movie like totally subverts those, those normal tropes and expectations. This is by a first-time feature director, also Dan Trachtenberg.
Yes,
right.
Who, wow, I mean, this guy is something to look for. For you guys who check out YouTube videos and play video games and stuff, he directed a short film about Portal.
It's
with
Portal.
These. I don't know exactly how to describe your video game guy.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. Probably, my favorite game of all time, which is why I loved this movie. And so glad to see him go into feature. It's basically a kind of a first-person shooter / puzzle game where you're able to create portals from one solid structure to another, and that's the thing. And the short film is basically all about this person that gets the portal gun and utilizes it.
Right. Did you notice, Will, since you're a fan of the game, did you notice any sort of like carryover from that? Well, should we not say that? Well,
I think. Yeah.
I will say this: I didn't see if there were.
It wasn't portally.
If there was anything like that, there was nothing that felt like transparent. I liked that this was a film that existed in the universe that it exists in. It didn't do a lot of fan service. It doesn't pull in a lot of things, and I think that's a good thing for Trachtenberg as a first-time feature filmmaker. Like, he's not having to rely on the fact that I'm the guy that did these YouTube shorts and was successful. Now he's the guy that directed Tim Cloverfield Lane, which is a fantastic movie.
Can you imagine what it's like for a first-time feature director, right? You've done this cool YouTube thing that people love, and then all of a sudden you get this job, and you're working for J.J. Abrams, you're directing John Goodman, and then 2 other like top-shelf, young, up-and-coming actors. And you have a project that has the namesake of, Cloverfield in it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, can you imagine like what that feels
like?
That's
got to be pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, we've got a live comment, a couple of them actually. One from Darkblade87 from Google Plus, who says, "Thanks for not spoiling. I think I want to know more about this movie." Darkblade, you are totally welcome, guys. I think that's just credit to us, right, for making a good call there. Because
call an audible, and it works.
Absolutely, Darkblade87. I feel like I'm back in the AOL days, like but yeah, no problem. We're glad we can withhold and help your enjoyment.
So if you want to know more about it, get out there, go out and see it.
Go see the movie, and then if you feel free to like let us know on our Facebook page. Like how now that your interest is peaked.
Yeah,
Darkblade. After you go see it, come back to Google, come to Facebook, come to any of the different platforms, which
let us know.
Probably plug later on, and let us know what you thought.
Absolutely. And then second, we got another vote for John Goodman's meatiness, guys.
Nice.
From Paul Alderete.
Is that the episode title?
No, I think it is going to be the episode title.
South by John's Meat.
That's right. I just realized, Jim, you're in your underwear. You may want to put your leg down.
Put my leg down. You're totally. That's the first time Brad has ever said that. Jim, you're in your underwear. Put your leg down.
I don't mind. Your junk is like right here.
It is not.
But anyway, I just didn't want you flashing my leg.
I wasn't.
Unless you don't mind.
Oh my God.
Well, you could see like your bulge.
No, you can't.
You could. You totally
do it again. Now you can see your bulge.
Wow.
It's my leg.
They don't care. They don't. You know what? We are big fans of the Underbears podcast.
Yeah.
And so maybe, Jim,
this is tame.
That would be more appropriate on the Underbears podcast.
Venue, yeah.
But by the way, you should totally check those guys out if you haven't already. If you love hot bears in their underwear talking about pop culture, movies, TV, I mean, everything, they have an amazing show, and they're very fun to look at.
Speaking of shows, we have to give a shout out to our friend Adrian Charlie, who didn't make it to South by this year. We miss you, Adrian. We miss hanging out in the South by Express lines with you in the mornings and catching you at some of the screenings. So hope you're well. Hope the show's going good, and we need to catch up with you. And I know will probably see you at Fantastic.
Yeah, I hope you're able to make it back to Austin.
Jelly,
in September,
but yeah, super jelly.
Yeah, right.
But yeah. So also want to give a shout out to FlameCon. They are here for South by Southwest. In fact, apparently they saw us in line when we were like all ships passing in the night and tweeted out to us a big hello. In fact, guys, I have not revealed this to you yet, but we may be seeing someone from FlameCon today up at Slaughter. So possibly. Cool. Yeah. I'm still texting. We're still working it out.
Happen.
But it's just so awesome. Again, I know we talked about South by earlier, but just all of us being in one place, being able to hook up with all these, not hook up, but connect.
Brad
connect.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell what Brad's mind is operating.
Whatever.
Brad's growlers is going off left and right.
bring, horror alert. But yeah, so it's just nice being able to connect with these other folks. And if you are in the Austin area, if you were here for South by, or if you just live here and want to talk movies, we are downtown pretty much all week this week. So day, night, we're there all the time. So if you want to get in touch with us and hang out, definitely shoot us a message on Facebook, tweet us at MB Podcast, or send us an email, and you can get a hold of us, Brad at moviebearspodcast.com, Will at Jim at
moviebearspodcast.com.
You know,
names at
pretty much that's the format. So definitely get in touch with us. Let us know. We'd love to see you. We'd love to chat movies and take advantage of all of us being in the same place at the same time.
Just take advantage of us. Whatever.
That too. That's fine.
God.
Oh, guys. Oh, goodness.
This is going to be I feel like this is setting us up for a pretty fun day. Lots of good energy.
Oh,
lots
yeah.
of excitement. We don't seem too sleepy or tired. Actually,
That's true.
from my perspective,
Yeah.
we're pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can watch another like 18 movies today. Whatever. We got this, right?
Yeah, we'll I don't know about 18, maybe 17. We'll see. But in any event, guys, as we look to wrap up here, just any quick plugs that you want to make?
I'd like to make a plug of a movie. It's not a festival movie right now. It's actually out on Netflix right now, and it's a movie called Meru, and it's a documentary about the mountain climbing expedition and then their journey to try to summit this mountain called Meru in the Himalayas, or Himalayas, as they say. Fantastic movie. I mean, the photography here is like astounding to the point where you say, like, how in the F did they get some of these shots while they're climbing this like vertical rock and ice face in the Himalayas in sub-zero temperatures? It was way more gripping than I thought it would be. Now I have a bit of an inside interest in kind of outdoorsy stuff like hiking and mountaineering and stuff like that from my college days. But man, even if you don't, I think this movie has a lot going for it. It's a great human story. It doesn't focus a lot on the technical aspects of mountaineering. It's more about the guy's journey and just the beauty of the so Meru, it's spelled MERU, and it's available on Netflix right now.
Awesome. Thank you. And Will, how about you?
Let's see. What's a good one to talk about? I feel like because we've done so many of these South by plugs, I don't really want to go too in depth with the one I'm going to say. Son of Saul is in theaters. It was Best Foreign Language Picture. It deserved to be nominated because it is really good, really, really good. Brilliant camera work. It will make you feel really, really heavy and uncomfortable afterwards. So you should check it out in theaters. It's in limited release right now, but I'm not going to say anything more about it because we've plugged the hell out of this is like our 8th movie to talk about. So I'll leave it there. Son of Saul, good movie.
There you go. I just want to plug real quick. I think we mentioned it last week, but just wanted to make sure everyone knows. If you are a fan of a little movie called Star Wars: The Force Awakens, we actually had a really great opportunity to sit down with one of the cast members from The Force Awakens, Anna Maria Leonti.
Well, 2 of you did.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Left me out.
Sorry,
Thanks,
Jim.
guys.
Sorry.
Thanks, Obama.
You could have taken off work. Anyway,
Sorry, not sorry.
So we definitely had a lot of fun sitting down with Anna Maria Leonti, who played Dasha Promenti in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. She's one of the villagers in Jakku, or on Jakku, rather, in the beginning of the film. And she had some amazing stories about working with J.J. Abrams and the level of secrecy involved in making a Star Wars movie and what it's like to become part of the Star Wars legacy and, tales from the set. So definitely check that interview out. It's available in iTunes, Stitcher. It's also on our YouTube channel. It is an audio-only interview, but you can definitely access that interview. Oh my gosh, it's probably the most awesome interview we've ever done. Just because
so much.
I mean, you guys were okay, but she was awesome.
Well, that's the thing.
Awesome.
A really good guest, I think ups our game. And that's
I
felt really comfortable with that one because she was so much fun to talk to.
Well, and she called us famous celebrities too, which made me feel a little.
She more than made up for my absence. Let's just say that.
In fact, Jim, she's our new regular cast member.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. All right,
you're out.
I'm starting my own podcast. Fuck you guys.
The Fuck You Guys podcast.
Fuck you guys.
It's just an hour of Jim.
The Fuck You Movie Bears podcast.
It's just an hour of Jim staring into Google Hangouts with blank face.
Yeah.
Fuck Will.
Fuck Brad.
Fuck Brad too.
Fuck them both.
Rinse repeat for an hour.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. We are a little punch drunk with no sleep, but it's
Let's
good.
see what's on their website today.
Yeah. What can we tear down this morning?
Brad like 10 Cloverfield Lane. Fuck those guys.
Oh God. All right. Well, that does it for us this week. We'll be coming at you again next week when we are back in Tucson and Will is still here in Austin. But
Sad days.
It will be sad days. But for now, we are going to enjoy being together, enjoy each other's company, enjoy a lot of films. Again, if you're in the Austin area,
and hopefully enjoy comments from you.
Yes, definitely. And if you're in the Austin area, definitely get in touch with us. We'd love to maybe hang out in line or something, or grab a coffee and talk some movies. But yeah, we are out, people. Take it easy. We'll see you on the other side of South by. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.